Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to plant the tomatoes, and this is where this 200 cell flat, just small, actually really comes in handy. When I put the soil in, now this is going to save you if you only have a few seeds. You know about the paper towel method. You pre-sprout your seeds and then you plant only the ones that are sprouted. This will do the same idea of saving you that time, that space, in your planting area. But you need to start out with either seed starting mix or sift out your potting mix to a fine soil. I just put one bunch in now until they come level, and I'll poke them down really tight to ensure that the soil is completely at the bottom. And so now the soil is out in each one of these little holes. The soil will be touching the moisture that's on top of the wicking mat. And the full plug in this tray will stay moist all the time. As for the wicking mat, you can check that out on this video, my how to watering your plants, your seed starts. If you started this using potting soil, you can get larger lumps that would prevent the soil from going completely to the bottom of your little cells, and that way they wouldn't be soaking up any of the moisture from the wicking mat, and you'll get, when you check them, you'll see those cells are drying out, whereas the other ones aren't. And now with the second time, when you push them down, you're left with an indent, and that's where you'll put your seed. What I'm doing today, I have 11 actually varieties of tomatoes that I'm going to be planting this year. One plant of each will be grown in 5-gallon buckets. In about 6 weeks, I'll be able to move those up. Actually, less than 6 weeks now. I'll be able to move those up to the sunroom. So that's why I'm setting out some now. Then later on, at the proper time, according to my last frost date, I will plant more. The tomatoes I'm going to be planting this year, you remember furthest north from last year, how it grew into a really bushy plant with tons of little tomatoes on it. I'm thinking that these would be really good for a hanging basket. So that's what those are going in. Bloody Butcher, that's a new one for this year. It's 55 days, indeterminate. It's an excellent early variety, but Bloody Butcher heirloom tomatoes start early and produce consistently until frost. Tomatoes form in clusters of 5 to 9 on vigorous vines, medium-sized tomatoes with fantastic flavor, a good multi-purpose variety. Excellent fresh and canned. The tomato that it seems like everybody is judging all of their tomatoes by, the Brandywine. Best known for its unique tomato flavor, large beefsteak fruit have soft, meaty texture. This tomato varies in yield, but makes up for it in taste and size. Vigorous plants require staking. Maturity is 78 days. The Golden Nugget. I have another golden cherry tomato. This one is called the Golden Nugget. It's 60 days, determinate. I'm trying to find another tomato that would go with my Tiny Tims that you could grow in little, say, 1-gallon pails as a house plant. This is what I'm checking out. Golden Nugget, it's called. The plants are compact and prolific. Fruit are small, yellow, and sweet. A great choice for patio gardening. The bush beef steak, I was trying this one inside a couple of years ago. These were given to me by a friend, and so they're older seeds, but they germinated fine when I tried them before. 65 to 80 days germination. Large, meaty, solid fruit, slightly flattened and globe shaped, mild and flavorful for salads and table use. No staking required. Determinate heirloom. This is another one of those compact bushy things that puts out beefsteak type tomatoes. I have several packets of these. It just says cherry. They are a vining type. I remember from when I tried to grow them, but in the sunroom I couldn't get them to pollinate. I'm hoping outside that they will. It's a heirloom variety, and all it says is that this heirloom cherry variety has been around for a century. The indeterminate vines are not as phenomenally heavy yielding as some of the new hybrids, but yields are still good. Flavor is excellent, a bit more acid than its modern counterparts, and size is just right, that of a ping pong ball. Scotia is a tomato that was actually developed in Nova Scotia, Canada. Most popular and well known for green tomato relish. I don't know why, I guess we'll find out as the season comes to an end. Early maturity and dependable crop. Open pollinated, dwarf plant avid, producing medium-sized globe-shaped fruit and slightly green shoulder. Maturity is early at 60 days from transplanting. This is an improved variety. So now this is what happens when you take a plant and you save the seeds. So you start out with an heirloom, but in your climate you continually save your own seeds and you end up with a new variety. So the original heirloom variety was Starfire, but they have an improvement on it. It is open pollinated, and so I can save the seed from this to continue on with that improvement to get it a good plant for my climate. It's 55 to 70 days. An earlier improved variety with 82-gram globe-shaped fruit. Start seed indoors to be planted out as soon as plants are out and off and the soil is warmed. Make sure night temperatures remain above 15°C. That never happens here. Let me check. 2019. July the 29th, it was above 15°C. On August the 2nd, on August the 10th, August the 18th, so that's 4. Another one on August the 30th. So we had 5 nights above 15°C in 2019. So that's the Starfire improved. The interest I have in this one, these are more seeds that was given me. Rutgers, Rutgers. It's an heirloom plant. It is a general purpose tomato. Good color, fine flavor, a large fruit, globular, slightly flattened, smooth, bright red, heavy walls, and small cells. It looks like these will be good if I can get them to produce a lot for tomato paste. And the favorite tomato I've grown so far is yellow pear. It's a heirloom tomato, as the name suggests, in the shape of a yellow pear, and it's just little cherry-sized tomatoes, and boy are they sweet. One of those you call garden candy. One of the plants I had out in the past survived our first 3 light frosts. On the Shed Wars 21, I have yellow pear tomato, and so I have to mark these 3 seeds for Shed Wars. I also have for Shed Wars Mortgage Lifter tomato. Now back to this tray. As I was saying, people wanting to save seeds, they use sometimes the wet paper towel method in a baggie, and then they just plant the seeds that germinate. When you're doing it this way, you're just wasting just one little cell. Now, other people, when they plant these out in bigger cells, they'll put in 3 or 4 seeds per cell, and then they'll just cut out the weaker ones, leaving the strongest. Here, you don't have to do that. Just 1 seed per cell is good enough, because if it doesn't germinate, you've just lost that little tiny bit of space. You're not wasting much space this way. I'm leaving the first row empty, and you'll see at the near the end of the video why I'm doing that. I'm putting a full row in just because I can, really, and if I can, I will save all the plants up till planting out in the garden. The other thing is, these are older seeds, so I don't know what the germination rate will be. And to mark them, actually, you'll see now why I left that first one. Why I left the first row empty. little labels I have here from some time ago. Now I'll take 2 labels. I'm gonna put Rigters, RUTGERS, tomato. Two labels. And I'll stick them back to back on this little piece of 14 gauge wire I have. Stick it down in the first cell. So now I know this full row is Rigter's tomato. Here we go. 1 seed per cell. And all labeled up at the end. Now I just need to cover these up. As you can see, I have 7 rows yet to do that will be empty now. I'm going to leave them like they are, and later on when I decide to plant more seeds, then I'll fill up those rows. You see, the nice thing about it, if you watch the video where I done the test, and in that same video I took out carrot seedlings, you can let them go to second, third set of true leaves before you actually extract them. Before I put it over on the wicking mat, I will moisten it down. But I won't have to sprinkle these anymore. I'll just put the water in the watering trough and the wicking mat will water it. So here it is on the mat. I just put water in here and basically leave it until it gets 2 or 3 sets of true leaves. Then I'll poke them out and pot them up. There we are, the second pre-planting for spring of 2021. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.